Unlimited. Now today is Monday the 1st of November 2021. It is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month this month, so here I'm going to talk about it. First things first, it's also, for people of Indian background, Diwali. So for the first, very happy Diwali. Somewhere in your local community there will be a Indian Hindu temple. This week it's Diwali. Just go along and enjoy the celebrations. Right, I got an email today about a quiz from Pancreatic Cancer UK on the seven commonest symptoms of cancer, and of course I'll put a link to that later on. Now today I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things. The commonest cause of pancreatic cancer, the commonest cause of cancers in general. I'm also going to talk to you about why a fitness professional is talking about this, the general formula on how to avoid cancer, fastest growing cause of the commonest cause of that, okay, and why it's very much in your interests, in the interest of your government, for you to die of cancer. And of course I'll also detail what business owners can do about this. As I said, there are multiple petitions on increasing funding for there are multiple petitions out there asking for more funding, government funding, for research into pancreatic cancer treatment. Let me come on to this now. First things first, I can hear you all saying, what on earth is a fitness professional doing talking about this? Well, first things first, if you're overweight, it puts you at higher risk of the majority of cancers. Secondly, it makes it more difficult to put you under anaesthetic if you require surgery. Thirdly, it makes it more difficult to perform the surgery if you actually have, if you're overweight. And then if this might decide not to put you under the gas, a surgeon might decide it's too risky. And lastly, I'm medically qualified. I'm a medical doctor, so what I say here I speak with quite some authority. Now, the common research into cancer treatment research into treatment of pancreatic cancer. If you could come up with a cure for pancreatic cancer, I would nominate you to become the Prime Minister of England, the President of America, the Prime Minister of Canada, the Prime Minister of New Zealand and Australia, leader of the United Nations, put you forward for the Grand National, the FA Cup, the manager for Liverpool, and the jackpot all in one. The thing here is, it's a disease that nobody should get. The reason being, pancreatic cancer is almost exclusively among smokers. It is unheard of for a non-smoker to get this condition. It's unheard of. It is almost exclusively among smokers. I want you to imagine every child born from today onwards. If we stop them all from smoking, then within a generation would see an eradication of this disease. It doesn't occur among non-smokers. Okay, it's that simple. So yes, research does need to be done into the treatment of it, but it's largely a preventable disease. Now, how do you avoid cancers in general? Well, it's really simple. Don't drink alcohol, don't smoke, don't take illegal drugs, don't drink tea or coffee, or at least those do a minimum, and basically be a vegetarian and keep your weight down and exercise loads. Do those 8 things and you'll greatly reduce your risk of all cancers as a general formula. Now, the fastest growing cause of cancers as a whole is obesity, and the commonest cause of obesity, believe it or not, and this is for the business owners out there, is poverty. If you're a business owner, make sure you pay your staff well. If you are a family, if you are a parent, make sure you are on multiple streams of income so you have a good, comfortable standard of living. Make sure you are between 3 and 5 sources of income. It's very important. Now, you might be saying, why is obesity a disease of poverty? It's very simple. In 2008, I wrote a blog about this and I was absolutely pasted. But in 2015, the Fabian Society released their report called Hungry for Change, and I was proved to be right. And there's several reasons for this, 7 reasons. First of all, food that is high in fat and low in nutritional value is mass produced and cheap. Food that is high in nutritional value and low in fat It's hand-produced and expensive. The poor can't afford it. People who are cash poor tend to be time poor. They haven't got time to cook from fresh, although there are exceptions. You ask a single mother of 4 to basically cook a meal from fresh, it's unlikely to happen, although there are exceptions. Many people out there can only afford to have 1 meal a day. So you can only have 1 meal a day. The body will slow down its metabolism and store everything as fat. Many people out there can't. People who are cash poor tend to be time poor, so they don't know. Well, basically, because they're time poor, they can't have half an hour per meal. So what happens is they wolf down their food. It takes, on average, 20 minutes for the brain to register that you've eaten. So if you're taking longer to eat your meal, you feel hungry, you wolf down to more food. What happens if that's high-fat food? With the greatest respect in the world, people who are cash poor tend to be the least educated. They don't know what's good and what's bad for them. So as a result, they may not know, they might not eat the best things. You'll be surprised at how many people tell me, oh, I eat pizza because it's healthy, because it's got cheese on it, that's got protein. No. And another 2 reasons. People on low income backgrounds, people from lower income backgrounds can't afford expensive gyms and personal trainers. And lastly, many people out there who are struggling to make ends meet end up taking on a second job. When you're working 80 hours a week or something like that, ridiculous, it gets pretty stressful and you end up eating a lot of fast food because you haven't got time to do much else. That's basically why obesity is a disease of poverty. Now, you might be wondering, why did I make the outrageous suggestion that it's in your government's interest that you get cancer? Very simple. I want you to imagine that you're an 18-year-old, you smoke like a chimney, you drink like a fish, and you eat like a horse. Your government will get all your working life taxes off you between the age of 18 to about 65, okay? And they're probably hoping that hopefully in your 60s, you'll get a life-threatening cancer and die of it before you hit retirement age. They're hoping if that actually happens, great, they can save on your pension. UK government income is roughly between 850 and 900 billion pounds a year. Something like 100 billion pounds a year goes on pensions. So if you never make it to pensionable age, they save that 100 billion. 7 in 10 people die without a will. So if you die without a will, it makes it that much easier for the government to get your estate. That's why they don't do much about these things. In relative terms, believe it or not, alcohol has never been so cheap. Cigarettes, in relative terms, have never been so cheap. In the 1950s, a pack of cigarettes cost you about 5 or 6 quid. But the average earnings in the 50s were about £50 a week. Now you can get a pack of cigarettes for, what, a pack of 20 for about £10. If you're on minimum wage, you're taking home gross pay about £205 a week. See what I mean? In relative terms, they've never been so cheap. Same when it comes to alcohol. So it's very, very much in your government's interest for you to smoke like a chimney, drink like a fish, and eat like a horse. Now, if you look below, you can see a couple of resources. I've got a fact sheet on the commonest cause of cancer, a link to an article where I detail why obesity is a disease of poverty, and I have a link to my fitness program. Hopefully you'll find this video educational. It's a bit morbid and it's a bit cynical, but that's just facts. Thank you very much for your time. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.